Hey everybody, welcome to the Onyx Path Twitch, where we have gathered today for a game of The World Below. This is Delve and Dig episode 8, if my math is not screwed up. Last session I was not here, and the glorious Gilbert Ramos pinch hit for me. I have watched that episode, and yet still will be asking my players for a recap because there was some chaos. Um, before
Not with a
we,
K either, just regular
right, yeah, regular CH.
pink and purple energy chaos.
Yep, exactly. But before we dive into that, a couple things I wanted to make sure that you all are aware. Of course, right now we are currently raising funds uh, over at BackerKit for the Mythic Shards, the new Scion supplement. This supplement offers alternate settings for Scion. Each alternate setting has its own sort of little self-contained rule adjustments. The book is already funded, and we're already unlocking stretch goals. So go over there, check it out if you've not yet done so. If you want to play Scion as superheroes, or maybe Scion, in a post-apocalyptic fashion, or maybe even Scion in deep space. Scions in space.
Oh,
All
that
those
would be weird,
options are
That could
there.
get me
but
into
cool.
Scions.
Yeah, there. Those options and more are available. And who knows if we raise enough and we unlock enough stretch goals, maybe we can even unlock more shards. So if you've not yet done so, please head over there, check it out.
Scions in hell. Bleh.
There you go. Yeah, the
I played Doom 2016. I know what's up.
precisely that. So, um, yeah, what else have we got cooking? I do want to let you know that Trinity Continuum Aether is now available in POD and PDF over at Drive Through RPG. That was released this Wednesday. I had the absolute privilege to work on that book. Very proud of it. Very happy to see it out in the world. Um, got to work with Leith Shields on the powers for that, and it was a really good time. So definitely would love it if you would run out, check it out. Let us know what you think of it. Tell your friends, send reviews, so on and so forth. Aether is a wonderful, good time. It's Victorian era Trinity Continuum, where you can have squires who are the equivalent to talents, gogs who use Aether through the use of mechanical means, and magogs who internalize their use of Aether, becoming what one might charitably call monsters. So
I
all
see
these
what you
things
did there with the naming.
are fun and glorious and there and beautiful. Go check it out. Now, when last we met, our group was in Oracaster. I believe you had discovered that there was a pending ban on alcohol due to Prince Noro going through a bit of a broken heart.
Yep.
My
The
understanding.
people
Oh, good.
the people weren't seeming overly upset about it. There were ways around it. A small black market was, I don't know if it's a black market so much as a gray market was emerging that was providing local brews. We were starting to think maybe this isn't
Drinking
the
it
worst
wasn't
thing.
illegal at the time, but the imports were. So,
It was feeling like Amsterdam for a minute. Like it's not that it's illegal, it's that its shipment is tricky and stuff. And then people started
oh,
foaming at the mouth and getting the beer seizures or
I
something.
can, yeah, that's right. I can correct myself there. Sorry. They couldn't brew it there, but imports were a different matter. But like people were kind of talking, and it seemed like it was just a matter of time until like complete prohibition was around the corner. So everyone was kind of like legally at the time getting rid of their inventory in kind of is that right?
That sounds about accurate to me.
But then you're right. I almost forgot it. Some people were getting sick from certain.
Well, one of the guards started.
Someone giving out like samples of something. Yeah.
Yes, I believe you had gotten a hold of some of the local vintage, or the vintage that was being brought into the locality by folks, I believe, from Burra. And it seemed to be having an ill effect on some of the folks who drank it, most notably and most recently one of Prince Noro's personal guard, because you're trying to get an audience with him. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah.
It was
The
me and
guards-
Cal, and then Bunga and Stavo went to go find a lady for the prince.
That's right.
Wonderful.
I'm rolling my eyes, but I really love it. I just want to put that out there. I'm judging you, but I love it.
Well, we will get to Bunga and Savo momentarily. Because first, I want to catch back up with Shafaria and Kelzul. So you've provided this sample to one of the guards, and they have subsequently, like, basically immediately passed out. The other guard says, "What's the meaning of this?"
You'll never catch us, and they throw a smoke bomb down there.
Well, the guard had run back to the palace for help, and we were watching over
Is
the
that-
one.
Is that where we parked? That the one
it was
who
like-
was awake had left to get
Yeah,
out?
he was like, "I know
Don't-
what you look like. Don't."
Yeah, don't you go anywhere. And we're like, we're not. We're keeping this poor fucker alive. And
I think that's a good test of a level of guilt. Be like, well, they're not here, so
Sure.
they probably did. That being said, every time I've made that reasoning in an RPG, I just got arrested anyway. So I don't know.
Well, are you in fact standing guard over the body?
Trying to work to stabilize him.
Yes.
All right. Have you done any? Did you do any of that last session, or is that what you wanted to start off with?
Do I recall correctly? You were giving him a
We were
purgative.
allowed in because we saved him. From what I remember, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. You gave him something, and he started throwing up the ale. I don't remember the description. I just remember going, well, that ain't right.
Yeah, that's fair.
oh right, it was a irritant, but it was to yeah.
Yeah. You epicacked him.
All right. Now that I know roughly where we've parked, it's not too
I
long
like
before.
that's an onomatopoeia.
Which is an onomatopoeia?
Epicac.
Epicac. It is, in fact.
That's the sound you make.
So as you are sitting there, tending to him, he's conscious now and breathing. The guard returns with a couple of other guards and a medic in tow. And they say, "Thank you for reviving him. Can you tell us where you got this this brew?"
Street vendor down the way.
All right, well, we better go look into them and make sure that there's no one else getting sick off of this stuff.
In fairness, people have been drinking this all across the city, as far as we could tell.
Really?
It's what's being sold now that regular liquor is becoming illegal.
You can sort of fairly easily tell the guards are kind of aggravated by the subject. Well, this is going to be a problem. At least it could be. We may benefit from your insight, though. You said you've seen this served around town. Have you drank any of it?
I personally don't drink, but
I see.
I'm worried for those that do.
Fair enough. It's a good thing to be worried about. You don't drink, you say?
Not particularly, no. I
I
think I
don't
first sip just the other night.
I don't drink anywhere I can't confirm its quality.
It's wise. And tell me, what you two don't look local. What brings you to Oracaster?
We came here out of character. We came here to like explore trade possibilities and stuff, right? I
Right.
wasn't here for it.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the initial plan.
Yeah.
And then you got dragged into a party.
We've established a new outpost. We were hoping to create trade relations with you.
What sort of materials, services, goods do you make?
I look around like this. Is the guard still on the ground while he's asking
The,
about
like the others
economics?
that are with him have the medic has tended to the guard and helped him to his feet.
So he's this isn't an economics discussion. This is a checking your story discussion.
It could be a
Well, with respect, we would like to speak with someone a little higher up about it, about greater detail. But the short version is that someone we work with has developed a new alloy. We have a rather excellent source of materials to create beautiful new tools and weapons.
Do you have a
It's
sample
something.
of this with you?
I hold up my blade poppet, which has the two little scythe arms made of the alloy.
He looks it over and says, "I've never seen its equal." Um, you two get him to the vomitorium, get him cleaned up.
God, I thought you were talking about guards and me. I'm like, I don't need to. No.
You two, right this way. And he starts to lead you into or toward the palace. Is there anything you would like to say or do on the way?
Uh, Definitely make a good observation of the place as we're entering. A little bit of like remembering how to get back out, but also seeing if there's any sense of the ruler or the whatever that we can get from the approach. I'm not playing a social character, but
Sure.
take the character away from the player, but you can't take the player away.
Right. First of all, palace is a strong term. What you have is a slightly nicer chunk of cave that has been carved out. There is a facade that seems to be almost like the facade itself is relatively plain hewn stone, but it seems as though the people of Oracaster have taken to decorating it. So there's entire chunks of the outside wall of the palace that have they're covered in mural. Some of them have other sculptures or creations, artistic mementos left behind, things lining that exterior wall to give it almost like a hodgepodge, almost a collage sort of feel to it. The doors themselves are stone, and as you approach with the guard, he pulls out a very crude horn and blows into it. As he does, you hear sort of the crunching noise of stone wheel on stone ground as the doors slowly part open. You're led inside. Most of the interior is led by what appear to be some sort of like a clear, perhaps like a glass or some other strange material, but it's clear, and spheres that are filled with the bioluminescent fungus that you'll find throughout the world below. And these are sort of attached to the walls probably every 60 feet or so, keeping the entire place dimly lit. The guards escort you through the common areas where you can see there's, again, some art on display, nothing too ostentatious. They walk you past a dining hall, past what appears to be like a stateroom, like a place where the prince would normally see guests, and take you back to what appears to be the prince's bath chamber. He is soaking in a tub. The water seems to be heated from like the magma vents that run underneath Oracaster. So it's very hot, steaming water he's sitting in. Suds from soap have made it into effectively a bubble bath. And he's sitting there just rather dour, leaning against the back wall of the tub. His expression barely changes in a slight recognition that another sentient being has entered the room. But beyond that, he doesn't really acknowledge any of you.
I feel personally attacked in the description of this guy, and
I'm picturing Prince John from Men in Tights. Just they're not my bubbles. It's from the
oh my god, I can see you play a character like that really well, Kevin. Some
Thank
reason.
you, giant question mark.
You're welcome.
I'll take it. I'll do that someday, just for you.
Stropharia is looking down in a way, avert her gaze.
I'm looking right at him. I have no dots of culture, and we're all ghosts in the making to me. As I have 0 dots of culture, Stropharia, do you have any?
I got 2.
I'm gonna follow your lead on what the local customs are.
Roll culture.
Did I?
Maybe it's to get in the tub with them.
If you
No.
You never.
if you want
no.
to roll culture, you're welcome to get just sort of like a basic idea of
How to address a prince, or when's
well,
he a
yeah,
king?
of how things work in Oracaster specifically. It's often different from settlement to settlement.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and I'll let you roll. Let's see. I'm gonna have you go ahead and roll. Let's do culture and probably intellect. Does that sound? Unless there's something else you'd like to lean on.
Maybe composure would work.
Composure or presence? Yeah.
Yeah, composure or presence, whichever you prefer.
'Cause I'm also noble, so maybe.
You will have a minor complication on this. Set as complication at 2. Basically, if not bought off, you make a faux pas, or otherwise reveal yourself as an outsider, resulting in a negative shift in the attitude.
I like that.
Yeah, so it's basically you're trying to sort out like what's the right way to talk here, so on and so forth. If you make it, you're good. If you if you don't resolve the complication, you risk offending
Hmm.
the prince.
Is this a good time to use a synthesis as well?
What do you have in mind?
I have one called Pheromone. It's +1 social advantage on living things. I guess
It would absolutely be a wonderful time to use that if you so choose.
Yeah, I'll just like puff some pheromones out there to help ease.
The key motion is going.
So this is interesting because the thing that I didn't tell you is that the prince enjoys social advantage of 1. So now you're effectively canceling out that social advantage in your interaction with him. But also, if you get even a hit, the enhancement will get you over the complication.
Nice.
I got a 9.
Just the 1/9.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough for you to get past the complication. So you bow your head slightly in a sign of deference and respect, but not in Oracaster. They don't. The royalty doesn't take kindly to gross, vast, sweeping gestures. Keeping it simple and subtle is good. But you do see his mood brighten slightly as he says, "Well, at least you are able to give a proper greeting. Tell me what brings you here." The guard says they have wonderful material with which they wish to trade. He kind of rolls his eyes back and sinks down into the water and comes back up. What? Cleaning his eyes out. I can't talk about trade right now. My heart has been ripped, still beating from my chest, and shown to me. My reason for existing has walked away. The air that I breathe is daggers in my heart from the sheer loneliness that I am experiencing on a moment-to-moment basis. And you have brought people in here to talk to me about trade deals?
My friends.
While he's in the
that was
tub.
lovely, Travis.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
I'll say, my prince, we aren't here to talk about our trade deals. Perhaps another time for that subject matter, but we are here because we've heard about your woes and your lack of a spiritual leader. We're hoping to be of some assistance.
He says, "Forgive my manners or lack thereof. How exactly would you intend to assist me?"
Kind of look at Kalzul like, what's the plan?
Kelzul, you're a impartial observer. Why don't you go ahead and give me
Uh-oh.
let's do a I would go culture, I would go empathy.
You're funny, Travis.
I would even go persuasion, perhaps, and then like a cunning or a composure.
I have a thing. I don't know if it's still valid. It says +1 persuasion till end of next.
Yes. Yeah.
So you get a +1.
Yeah. Let me
It's +1 enhancement to your persuasion roll.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, even to other people's? Oh, because it's against a target, not
Yeah, it's like a.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I like it.
Well, I only had 5 dice to roll on that, but 6, 10, 8, 9, 8. So 5.
Yeah. You can tell.
I get real lucky in this game, I'll tell you.
I noticed that.
Except in combat.
Except in combat, it's true.
Yeah, then I
Um,
suck.
I'm the opposite.
But outside of it, like I've been screen capping some of these roles because I'd be like, that's sus, bud.
It's right. It's the
Maybe
opposite for me. I'll be in
I-
combat and I'll be like, let's go, Rust Knights.
as
Right.
11
a,
successes.
as a
But then when
game-
I'm navigating the group and I'm like, my dice pool's 9, let's go. And I botch it.
it's if I was a game master, I'd be like, why don't I roll for you, buddy? That's for either of those. But yeah, this is suspiciously great. So yeah,
Despite the prince's I guess you can detect that the prince has the ability to shield himself. He knows how to hide his feelings. But you also can detect that his interest is definitely piqued by Stropharia. Something about her has caught his eye.
I love that Haley's immediately like, yes. Why wouldn't you?
It's the giant mushroom instead of hair.
I mean,
Oh, I guess I could
Or does
say,
she have?
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I guess I could say that I'm a priestess of Golthon, former priestess of Crystal City to him. See what he says.
let me give you a nice lead into that to get you some build up, stack the deck in your favor, since that's apparently what we're doing now. It is my experience, your lordship, that all pain comes of loss and fear.
You're very wise. I have lost, and I fear I will never replace that loss. I will never fill the giant sucking wound where my heart once stood before it was ripped out and dashed on the floor before me.
And how recently was this wound inflicted?
Guard, how
What
long
fucking day is it?
How long is this? How long has this suffering plagued me? 3 days, Your Eminence. 3 days feels like 3 lifetimes.
It is the nature of love and loss to stretch time. For those who mourn, there is nothing but the reliving at the speed of dreams, the knowledge that what was cannot be again. And yet, every moment is loss. Time itself is a constant death. What was cannot be again, and all things pass in their time, and all that can be done is to love that which may come and that which is.
You guys are going to be best friends.
If you've come to assuage me of my grave mood, you are failing miserably.
No, there's nothing to do with pain, but cherish that there is something worth having been pained over. Many will never know the sweetness of loss. For them, it is simply a lack, a dream. What's more, the precedent of life, of good, suggests that good will come again and again and again. You will be sad again, my lord, and you will feel this pain again one day. But there will just as much be joy and love, gain and loss. The flies will rise and fall, as with the sun. Flies. And remember where we are. What is the name of this pain of yours?
Her name was Rosalind.
And this Rosalind was with you how long?
What is time? How long, guard? 3 months, Your Eminence.
A short time to some and a life to others.
Many lives. 100 lives. I would give the lives of half of Oracaster to be in her good graces again, but alas, she is gone. She's gone, and she has taken my heart, my soul, a not small portion of my coffers.
I'm
and
afraid
my
I don't
hope.
follow, my lord. How did she come to leave your life?
It was the middle of the night. She stole away. I assume with a band of adventurers, people that she had known from the time before we met. They availed themselves of some of the coin that we had, mostly mints from Glowstream, and some from Tilver's Earth. They left our own coinage behind. Took some tools, some trinkets, all while I slept, having enjoyed a bottle of wine with my love. And despite her crimes and deception, nothing quells this emptiness.
You have been examined by your physician and magisters, I assume.
I was gonna say, can I roll a medicine roll, see if there's any like love potions out there?
Yep.
Sure. I mean, you can roll medicine, intellect.
I like that line of thinking. You're like, wait a second, nobody's this hot.
Yeah.
Well,
What's she
Well,
looking at there? Medicine and what was it?
intellect, probably.
Yeah, intellect.
How old is this guy?
He appears to be, late 20s, maybe early 30s.
Okay, so not physically immature. We're not dealing with a 17-year-old who just like. I thought sex was love. Buddy.
Aw, buddy.
Yeah. 2 9s and a 10.
Oh, excellent. You're aware of some like alchemical concoctions or chaotic concoctions that might be able to have that sort of an effect, but they would generally have other side effects as well. You could, as far as near as you can see, there's no visible effects, but you may, if you examined him thoroughly, you could probably tell a lot of those types of potions will leave like telltale lesions, things along those lines.
Here's a love potion and giant veins.
I'll say, Your Grace, please forgive me, but may I examine you? Your body.
He smirks and says, "Are you being coy?"
No, I am generally concerned for your health.
That's very.
I just want to prove a theory
It's
that I
very.
have.
It's very kind. Yes. Give me a moment. Guard, fetch me a towel. I shall make myself ready. Give me just a moment of time, please.
Of course.
And in that-
she'll keep looking back down.
And in that moment, I'm going to ask everybody to hang on real quick because our missing player is about to join. So I'm going to throw up the back soon screen real quick, and we'll be right back.
Woo!
We have returned. Sorry about that, folks, but now we are one player stronger. Crow, thank you for joining us. So, if you're just making your way here, at the moment, Straferia and Kelzul are at the prince's. The prince was about. They've talked the prince into allowing Straferia to examine him under suspicion that perhaps he may have been given some sort of a love potion. We'll get back to that momentarily because I would love to know what Bunga and Savo are up to.
Manga.
You remember what we were doing?
Yes, weirdly enough, Blanca, I don't understand. What do you mean about a woman with the bungas and the jiggles and the all these adjectives? I don't. Are we finding a woman for the prince to marry, or are we finding a monster to slay? I'm so confused.
A little of column A, little of column B.
I
We're finding a monster for the prince to slay, as it were.
I feel like we've zoned way off from the initial assignment.
Where, pray
Did we
tell,
now?
are you looking for the monster for the prince to slay?
I'll just follow my nose.
You're just kind of wandering about.
Yeah.
I love it. Why don't you give me? Let's do your option of enigmas, survival, or esoterica, and you do cunning or composure.
Let's do survival and composure.
All right, let's do it.
This
I want to point out, you're like, aren't you looking for a woman with survival and composure?
yeah.
This game's awesome, Travis. Be proud.
Always.
That's the only way to look for a mate in the world below. All right. Oh, thank God for that 10. So just that 110, but
All right.
it's
So
it's
two.
enough. And I also have welcome presence.
All right, what does that do for you?
A welcome presence. I'm treated, so it's kind of like for first impressions. I'm treated as like one rung higher when I meet people.
Mm.
But I can go and like look up the actual writing in the.
Yeah, it gives you a +1 enhancement toward influence
That's it,
actions
enhancement, yeah.
with strangers who don't have a negative attitude toward you.
Yeah.
So that may come in handy. However, as you're walking along, you make note of a particular young lady who is an elf. She is carrying, looks like, some supplies, perhaps from the market, to a place near the edge, outskirts of town. And while you notice this young woman, you also notice what appears to be someone small, perhaps Makiru, kind of hiding down just out of sight of the general walkway, kind of looking around, keeping an eye on things. And they seem to be like jotting something down as they're doing so.
Do they look sussy?
Very.
Hmm. Are they looking at anyone in particular, or?
Just looking for somebody.
They just seem to be sort of looking around. If you'd like to make a empathy cunning roll, you could. You'd also let Savo know what you saw. Savo's just, I assume, kind of confusedly walking next to Bunga, like, eh?
Yeah, somewhat
Bunga,
confused.
Girl.
Yeah. Unless Bunga points what he saw out to Salvo. I think Salvo is just out of his element and just going like, what have I gotten myself into? This is hell.
For you was hell. For Bunga, it was Tuesday.
Oh, Savo. I can't help but to notice that suspicious one right there. Taking the notes, looking around all sussy like.
Okay. Hmm.
I don't have any particular interest in them, but the storyteller did point them out for a reason.
Well, if you're certainly welcome to continue following the girl and ignore the creepy, suspicious dude.
r-
Absolutely.
Were you were you saying like an empathy?
Yeah, you can make an empathy cunning if you like.
I wanted to point it out to Savo in case they were more empathetic than, because my pool is 3 for empathy and cunning.
Mine's a little bit better. It's like 4.
One crisis at a time,
How about-
Charles.
I help you.
Okay.
I'll help you. Is that how it works?
Sure. Yeah, you can roll first, and then anything any hits you get.
I just
will
move
be-
the binoculars over to the suspicious
exactly.
Mercury. Hey, this blue isn't the right blue. That could be cursed. Always use sets when you're using D10s. I say as I botch.
Did you?
I did.
That's awesome.
1, 6, and a 2. So I guess I don't help. I add.
Would you like to
I
just
make.
go ahead and add to the momentum pool and
Now your
accept the
difficulty's
botch?
1 higher.
All right.
I'm just looking at the sussy individual with like hand binoculars like this.
Why don't you go ahead and make your roll, if you would, Sava?
Okay.
Yeah, you're definitely telegraphing that you're staring at them, by the way.
You pick up 2 bottles of the strange brew, but the caps are still on it, so you just empty them out and look through them. It's just
3 successes.
I can't see anything. Oh,
literal beer goggles.
So with 3 hits, you notice, yes, this dude's definitely sus. They seem to be making notes about. Like, it looks like they're not writing. It looks like they're drawing. You can tell that from the distance.
Okay.
And they definitely have now clocked Bunga and are starting to turn to run away.
Are there anything hanging over them, like anything on the overhand that's like hanging off that just needs like a slight boop?
Hell,
like an
like a
accident?
medieval
yes.
sign tavern. Like,
Hell yes. There's like some pottery hanging right above their head.
Great.
ooh, even better.
Oh yeah. Oh, that stuff is coming down on him.
So the mage, the ascension standard attack, flower pot from nowhere.
Right.
It's the paradox. It's just, what are the odds?
Pretty good.
Air
right now.
conditioning unit falls on him.
So yeah,
Well, you want to do that lethal damage.
give me that ranged combat. I would assume you're gonna pair that with dexterity, but you're welcome to make an argument. for something
Presence.
else.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I got you on that. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. 1, 2,
I played Dune with some people a while back, but we used story path rules, and a dude literally used presence for his attack and just went break.
Nice.
Oh, it was David Lynch as hell. I was so happy.
I love it.
So I got a crit, and a few successes, so that makes 6.
Excellent. You draw your arrow. He looks up, eyes wide, and like spins on a dime to turn and run away as you loose the arrow, cutting this sort of hanging flower pot, which shatters on his head. It was growing what seemed to be some sort of like a mushroom culture that perhaps an alchemist was cultivating. Destroys the entire culture. It's scattered all over him. The fumes of which, however, make him sneeze 3 times before he passes out.
Is there an occult significance to that, or
Could be. It's possible. You have rendered him unconscious.
It's gonna look at Bunga and
Good news.
Uh-huh.
It looks like he had an accident.
Oh, right. He had an accident. We should go and help our friends. And he still has that like accent that that weird customer service. It's strangely like too human voice, like talking, not realizing he hasn't turned it off, and just kind of scuttle over and just kind of grabs this poor guy and just shoves him into his cloak and just kind of backs away into the alley.
All right, so you just grabbed it. As you start pulling the guy into the alley, you definitely see he drops the graphite he was using and the map that he was drawing. And it looks like he was drawing a very detailed map of like entry exit points and main thoroughfares of Oracaster.
Bunga. Oh, he drops the voice. Bunga. I think we have to go and put a pin in finding a woman to put 8. You know what? I'm not gonna continue with the analogy you guys keep making.
I like that analogy.
No, this seems a little bit more important, order of importance.
Well, what does?
He just points down to like the map, the very weird sketching of like what might be like planning something big, and then the individual.
later turns out he's just like a city planner?
Is it still in your jacket?
Oh no, he's kind of like spit him out, just had him like roll back onto the ground.
I thought it was like, like 3 kobolds in a jacket. You were like, come along now.
Like those dudes in Beastmaster, I can never remember their name. But the guys with the mouth in their chest in Beastmaster.
Right.
But that nice lady that just turned the corner.
Go. Take 5 minutes to go and.
Oh, all right. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Devourer? Is that what they were called?
It might have been.
And I run after the.
Yeah. Sorry.
And I run after the that elven lady I saw.
All right. She's singing to herself about liking books as you run up on her. Hello, good sir. What can I do for you?
Oh, well, I don't usually do this, but I have a friend who that is to say quite fancies you, he does.
Oh, I see. And where is this friend that you speak of?
Well, he's a really regal fella, and he's recently had a a bit of a heartbreak, and well, you just stood out, and I thought you know how it is.
how I met your mother.
So this regal friend has had a heartbreak and has sent you to find new love for him.
I've somewhat taken it upon myself to
That's a very heroic endeavor. One might even say it's regal.
well, why, thank you. I thought so as well.
So tell me more about this friend, and kind of bats her eyes at you a little bit. Go ahead and make a empathy and cunning roll, please, or empathy and composure.
Empathy 1, composure's 4. That's my one non-physical stat that's above 1.
What is happening?
How in the hell did you play matchmaker by cock blocking the target?
All according to plan, Zavo.
The wingman is taking the kill.
Okay, so 4 composure and 1 empathy. And welcome presence is in there too.
Yeah, so that'll give it a +1 enhancement.
For the love of God, please,
No,
dice.
I insist you start giving Bunga major social ups, but never play him differently.
That's actually when we were doing that, if I may, when we did the first Kalm, no, when we were spending experience during the Kalm, I increased his presence from 2 to 3.
Well, it seems to have paid off.
Now we see the fruits of this investment.
I didn't even. Oh, this was empathy to see. Right.
Yeah.
Please. Oh, thank the. It's 8 9. If 7s were successes, but this isn't exalted. Is that Scion?
Well, both, but well, depending on the tier and sign. But
1 success.
she seems very interested in what you're saying. Well, you got the enhancement too, right? So that's 2. So yeah, she seems very interested in what you're saying, and you're not sure, but maybe interested in you. Like she might
Really?
You think she might think that you are the one that you're talking about.
Oh, I see. You think that I'm being sly and I'm just talking about myself? No. I definitely have a friend named, and I hold up the hand that I wrote the prince's name on, and it's all sweaty.
She says,
It's
that's. I'm sorry. I didn't mean. That's kind of embarrassing. I apologize. I'm gonna go now though, and she turns and starts to run back toward her place.
Christmas time.
How much does she remind me of Stropharia?
How much does she remind you of Stropharia?
Okay,
'Cause
I
my
thought you were going to
mission
say that, but I
was-
thought I was wrong. Wow.
My mission was, because Stropharia gave me advice, find a girl like her.
Um,
Yeah, that's true.
she's not myceli. She is elf, but she is also in terms of her dialectic.
Oh, damn, that's not.
She is 1 second. Nothing is majorly obvious about it. She's not carrying any major. She's not showing off any major symptoms of her dialectic. But
She was singing about how much she loves books, so I got a bell.
there's a
vibe.
bit of a Belle vibe, yeah. And she does have
That's
In her voice, you're pretty sure that she's probably an Adamus, which is the dialectic that is more. They're striking to behold, might twinkle with the hues of precious gems. Some of their syntheses allow them to create jewels and minerals from nothing, or to use currency as weapons. You're assuming maybe by the sparkle in her eye and the sound of her voice, she might be Adamus. But is also a beautiful elf. So, I mean, it's not that big of a stretch.
All right. As I'm turning around, I go, well, wait a second. Wait. And I run back after her and I was like, would let's say you're not interested in my friend, and if I was to interject myself, if I may, in between that relationship that never would have been, could I ask if perhaps could I ask a lady her name?
Absolutely, yes. My name is Tara.
Era. Well, my name is Bunga, and I would well, I'm not very good at this, especially since I haven't had a drink. But while it's still legal, perhaps I can we can have a drink together, as it were.
I would love that. However, I do think your friend who is sort of hovering over that possible corpse over there might need your attention first. You want to? This is my kip right here. So do you want to maybe stop by after the sunflies go down, and we can go find a beverage?
Sounds good to me.
It looks like he's about to eat that. Maybe you should go help.
I see there's something there that was
So long. Nice to meet you.
You too. And she
And I run back to Salvo.
and she kind
There
of
goes the farmer with his shrooms,
and
like
she
always. The same old
spins-
my sleigh to sell.
as she spins toward her house, like her dress flares, and she like walks in.
Salvo, Salvo, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news.
Okay.
All right, the bad news is I couldn't interest her in the prince.
Okay. What's the good news?
Oh, the good news is, well, I might have gotten a date for myself.
I feel like you've gotten confused on why we came and never mind.
While
She wasn't floozy material anyway. She likes books.
You are like MacGyver with women with an empty bag. It's not for what I bring, it's for what I find along the way. What the hell?
Steal that saying. I like that.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you another momentum because that was hilarious shit. And while that hilarious shit was going on, what was Savo doing?
Basically, just checking out this individual, just checking for like other sketchy things like plans, contacts, anything this person was carrying before they wake up and they get interrogated.
I was hoping you'd have a Batman scene. Just where are they?
Oh, not yet. Not yet.
So you don't want to wake him up yet?
Not yet.
All right.
Savo's got more of a K2SO thing going on here. Congratulations, you're being interrogated.
Right.
Exactly. You can tell as you're looking him over, can tell a couple things. One, this map is definitely being drawn from a tactical perspective, right? They're planning on using it to infiltrate. It looks like what you would draw if you were planning on like raiding the city. Secondly, based on some of the jewelry that he is wearing in his fur, you're pretty sure that he has ties to the Burra community.
Shadowrun rules. You always wear cufflinks with a different corporation's logo.
Burra community, eh? Wait a second. Do I recognize this fella? Bungus from
Greg, what are you doing here?
You are Burra?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, go ahead and make a let's do culture
He likes it.
composure.
All right.
You're gonna have a minor complication because it's been a while since you've dealt with. Well, because he's not from, I guess, your particular branch of the borough.
Please, more than one success. 8, 9, 10 makes 4.
Excellent.
All right, 4.
So yeah, actually, you recognize the jewelry is not only is it Burra, but it is specifically a group of Burra who have kind of dedicated themselves to a certain approach in their raids, rather than like, you know, just rolling up into a settlement and taking what they want, or like rolling people on the side of the road. This group has dedicated themselves to infiltrating settlements, identifying that settlement's greatest resources and greatest weak spots. And like over the course of like, so like a calm will end, they'll head to the new settlement, spend the entire season getting entrenched, figuring out what they can, and then before the next calm hits, raid the place.
Before the so there can't be any. There's less opportunity for retaliation.
Right, because they're breaking camp right around the time that calm is about to hit, so nobody can chase them back.
Wait, old Greg, what are you doing here? Oh, I recognize this little fella.
We're supposed to be
Up to
home
no
sipping
good.
Baileys from a shoe.
You're supposed to be home sipping Baileys from a shoe.
Is that right? I think Salvo takes out what looks to be like some smelling salts and just kind of leans in ever so menacingly with the mouth opening up from the mask and just waking this poor man up to a very intense experience.
As you were about to unveil that intense experience, we're going to hop back over to what's going on back at the prince's place. The prince has stepped out of the bath, has ordered his guard to bring a mattress, effectively,
A mattress.
for him. I mean, he's got the towel, yes, but he's ordered a mattress to be brought out, and the guard lays the mattress out next to the bath, and he's like, not too far. I don't want to have to go too far to get back. And he lays on his stomach on the mattress and says, "You may examine me to your heart's content, Straferia."
Problem solving itself, isn't it?
I have expert diagnosis.
You do.
Like a
Excellent.
med roll, I guess, to look for lesions.
Yeah. You said you have expert diagnosis?
Yeah.
And that gives you
Plus three.
Plus 3 enhancement. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, so go ahead and make a medicine intellect with a plus 3 enhancement.
Guys do not. They must be sad.
Oh, 8s are a success too, right?
Yep, 8s are a hit, yeah.
5 successes.
Does that include your enhancement?
No.
So 8 hits?
Yeah.
Well, you're sure he has not been poisoned or given any sort of love potion. You do not find any sort of lesions on him that would indicate drugs or that would indicate any sort of social disease. 8 hits is a lot. So, what would you like to know about his health or habits?
Will he survive me?
If he dies, he
Complication on his next roll.
dies.
Anything I can like impress him with, like any kind of like small kind of health thing that he didn't really know he had, or
Are you looking for like something to compliment him or something to be like, to impress him with like your knowledge or?
whoa, yeah, let's compliment him, see what happens.
So playing doctor, not being doctor.
I'm gonna go ahead and let you decide what body part you want to compliment.
Oh dear.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we find out the rating of this particular game.
Damn, you could bounce a quarter off that ass, Prince.
Googly moogly.
As Bunga would say, babooka.
I mean, you could lean into the nobility thing. You know, you're not as inbred as I would have thought you'd be.
Right. You really look like your parents were distant.
Your jaw barely extends 3 inches past your nose.
I'll just say, well, it's good that you don't have any kind of spell or poisons that I was looking for. But I must say you have a very healthy body and a nice physique. And she'll kind of look away again.
And he says, "Thank you."
A nice what?
physique.
Yes, throw a little purple mushroom blush on there too.
He says, "Thank you. I've spent some time ensuring that to be the case. I hope you didn't find the procedure too embarrassing." You can't. I'm in the middle of a sentence. You can't put shit like that in chat. The world will never know. So he says, "I hope that you didn't find that entire process too embarrassing," and then discards his towel and gets back in the bath without any ceremony or warning.
Not at all. I try to remain professional.
I appreciate.
As difficult as you make it.
I appreciate and lament that fact.
So you were truly in love then?
I was. I am. I. Maybe I don't. Yes, the love was true, and I feel that I've allowed myself to suffer this wound in part due to the devils of drink.
I've been facing away politely, hands behind my back, holding my staff. And at this, I turn to look over at him. Then you've a heart that's capable of love. That's a marvelous treasure to take from this endeavor and endurance.
I had a heart capable of love. I'm not sure that it still beats anymore. I think I may be a corpse ambulating only on its own misery.
I assure you, sir, I know all about corpses ambulating. You're none such. You're very, very alive. And if anything, you only know that it was love because it hurts. And a heart that can hurt is a heart that can love, one that can love again, and all the richer and wiser for the experience.
He looks over at Strafaria and says, "What do you think, Doctor?"
I think he speaks the truth, my lord.
It's okay.
But there is another reason that we are here. We've come across a lot of bootleg liquor since there's been
Alright.
some laws against
Okay.
importing alcohol into the town.
Yes, yes. My guards mentioned something to me about it. What of it?
It's
There's
having a
people falling ill at the smallest bit of it.
Oh,
People are collapsing in the street from the bootleg liquor.
outside still.
Is there
What's-
anything you can do about that?
further, it's being given out for free. I take out the bottle that we took earlier if the guards hadn't taken it and set it down.
He grabs it and takes a sniff of it.
I wouldn't drink it, my lord.
No.
So I recognize the vintage.
Yeah, they said
But
it.
he takes his pinky and just runs it along the top of the bottle. His guard kind of steps forward and he holds his hand up and rubs his pinky on his teeth. This is the same brew my Rosaline gave me, but there's something added to it.
Well,
You
whatever-
said, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Um, you said Rosaline and her companions departed in the middle of the night, very suddenly, taking many things with them.
Indeed.
And now tainted brews of the same vintage are being handed out at no profit in the streets.
Indeed.
My lord, forgive me if I say for saying so, but your embargo on local brews may have put the city in some measure of peril, don't you think?
Do you think this is another attempt
Oh,
by Rosalind and her minions to rob us again?
Potentially more than just you personally. If they're giving it out to the people of the city and your guards, doesn't it stand to reason that they intend to strike targets outside your noble personage?
Alright, so let's go.
He stands up angrily and
Oh gosh.
says, says, "Guard, see to it that anyone distributing that is seized. I want to know who they are. I want to know where they've gotten it. I want to know what they're doing. Until we've collected this brew and gotten to the bottom of this, call a curfew." The guard says, "Yes, sir," and runs out.
I'm so glad we accomplished this without metagaming. That was
Says, "Thank you for bringing this to my attention."
Thank you for handling the situation so swiftly, my lord.
He nods and says, "I too appreciate the way you handle a situation."
Alright.
I'm not gonna interrupt this meet cute. Like I'm looking for the empty moments to speak. Okay, so
He
She'll just kind of blush and be like, bow her head.
He steps out of the bath and says, "Fetch me my arm." Well, guard,
Dress me!
someone else, anyone? Another guard runs in.
Attendees.
Excellent, thank you.
Clothing.
Fetch me my armor.
Yeah, boy.
please. Fetch me my armor, please.
Fetch the
Garcon.
royal robe.
They go and get him a suit of patchwork armor. He gets dressed up and says, "I will go and see these purveyors of putrescent brew myself. Thank you again for bringing it to my attention."
May we accompany you to assist you further, my lord?
"You may." And then he holds his arm out to Straferia, inviting her to take his arm.
Oh, she will.
Excellent. Excellent. You you three walk off out into the city.
I'm sorry, Cal breaks me in the chat. Oh
I
my
know it's awful. Let's take a quick 5 for bio and techno, and then when we get back, we will resume. We will rejoin what's going on with Savo and Bunga. Hang tight. We will be back shortly. Hey, everybody, welcome back. We have addressed our biological and technological needs. We are going to resume our adventure, but before we do, a couple things I want to just remind you of. First off, Trinity Continuum Aether has recently been released over at Drive Through RPG. It is the Victorian era, the end of the Victorian era for the Trinity Continuum. It's a beautiful, wonderful time. Definitely recommend checking that out. Also, want to remind you that Scion Mythic Shards is currently on backer kit. This offers various alternate realities for your Scion game. Please head over, check that out. It is fully funded, and we're now unlocking stretch goals. So before we went off onto our break, we had just wrapped up with Shafira and Kelzul were accompanying the prince out into the city to call a curfew and basically stamp out any of this strange brew making its way in to the town. Across town, Savo was opening up some nasty smelling salts beneath the nose of the Makiru that you found making a map. Excuse me. And he does, in fact, wake up sort of quickly. Like so.
He's not a cat.
Well, he's a creature type thing.
I withdraw. You're absolutely right.
And cats are odd creatures that make sounds like that. But so are rats.
What is it? What do you want?
Well. If it isn't old Greg.
He squints. Bunga?
Never thought you'd run into me again, did ya?
No, not at all. You've not wandered into a lava flow, or perhaps just fallen into the well, or stepped in front of an oncoming Hemexi, perhaps.
Well, two of those things did happen, but I'll leave which a mystery.
Oh, I kill rust knights and I mistakenly pick up elves.
All according to plan.
Why are you interfering with me? I'm working.
Well, you see, that's the problem, innit?
What?
I know what you're up to, and well, I'm something of a what's the opposite of a ne'er-do-well?
A man of culture as well.
A do-gooder?
Yeah, I've turned turned the other cheek, turned the book, turned the page.
Leaf, I think what you're thinking is Leaf.
The leaf? Yes. That's right.
I'm happy for you. Is that why you and this strange thing have assaulted me?
Well, how nice of you to refer to them as thing. We didn't assault you none. That potted plant there did.
However, if your tone keeps becoming ruder as this interview goes on, you might feel a little discomfort. Maybe a missing arm, a missing eye.
What do you want?
He grabs on and just like slides like a hand towards that book, holds it up. I want details, all of them. Your plans.
He says, you can rot. I'm not telling you a thing.
And with that, he is going to use a synthesis.
Come on, old Greg. Oh, never mind. I see we have two different approaches here.
Right.
What synthesis would you like to use?
Exploit weakness. You learn to identify the weakness in others and dress it up like you've cursed them. Once per session, when you utter a curse upon a target, you or One of your companions may roll a failed attack or influence action or ignore extreme complication up to a moderate level against the cursed individual.
Nice.
He's gonna talk one way or the other.
All right. Excellent. So you absolutely start going in on you notice he is having a hard time focusing. It's as if he's not quite able to see you. You clock his poor eyesight, and you immediately go to work on, you know, clearly if your associates knew how much you were struggling for your part of the plan, trying to draw this map, they would leave you out to dry. You better talk before, you know.
Right.
So that's kind of how that begins to play out. So at this point, if you'd like to just like straight up interrogate him,
Yeah.
what would you like to lean on, and who would perform the interrogation?
Bunga, how's your interrogation skills? What do you have? What does Bunga? Who is Bunga in this moment?
I lean over and press play on the boombox, and Stuck in the Middle with You by Steelers Wheel starts playing.
It was either that or some like terrible canned beat, and you start doing like a dare rap trying to convince him evil's bad.
It was 50-50. No,
What is happening?
what a question. Is that in character, or were you asking
A little bit of A, a little bit of B.
a little bit? Interrogation skills, like
I would say you go persuasion cunning, you go persuasion presence, you could go close combat presence, you know, or persuasion might, depending on what you're doing.
Medicine for persuasive surgery, technology for automated persuasion,
I have ways of being persuasive.
Mhm.
enigmas for tricking them into telling the truth.
I'm quite familiar with the different implementations and tools of close combat, shall we say.
All right.
And I pull out my leather satchel of different small knives.
All right.
This one's name is Ted. This one's Fred. Guess this one's name.
Ned.
Yeah, that's right. Voice from nowhere. It's Ned.
Just a passing commenter. Is it Ned?
He just shakes his
Yes. Keeps going.
I call them Fred, Ted, and Eddie. And Nettie.
head. Says, and what do you plan on doing with those?
Well, since you ask, I'll give you Ted, nay, even Fred, should you cut us in on the plan. I want in, is what I'm saying.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? Yeah, here's the deal. One of our crew a few months back, right at the end of the last Kalm, started seeing the prince. Let me rephrase that. At the beginning of the last Kalm, started seeing the prince. They got pretty tight, and she welcomed us in. We cleaned out the prince's place, but we realized that this whole place is ripe for the picking. There's so much wealth here in Oracaster. We could loot the whole joint, and it'll bounce back in a week. But we needed a way to get there. So our ringer Rosalind, she kept giving the prince this brew that we've got. You know, really just made sure he stayed nice and sauced up through the whole affair. Naturally, knowing what a vengeful and petty prick the guy is, we knew that as soon as he sobered up and realized she was gone, it'd be bye bye booze around here. Then we swoop in, provide an alternate source. Town takes a nap. We take a walk with the goods.
That's rather non-violent. Well, I have to say, Greg, that's pretty clever. You couldn't have been the one that thought up this plan, eh?
No, I was not. It was Rosalind's plan.
Oh, too late to get in on this.
No, if you want to help me out, just let's get going. Let's come right this way.
So I think
Davo?
Salvo gives Bunga the most scary dad look that you could possibly give someone. Like Monster Dad is looking at you like, absolutely not.
Oh, like 90s sitcom take when like a dad comes in and
No,
catches the kid like smoking.
No, speaking as an actual monster dad, I've seen the look in my kid's eyes. You know?
Yeah, it's like Bunga.
I know vampire dad would never bite me, but
Right.
it's vampire
Davo,
dad.
you're looking at me, but you're wearing a mask, so your lips say that you're in too.
In that moment, Salvo grabs this poor. Is it Mercurian? He grabs this poor Mercurian. Unfortunately, you're the job has ended, Bunga. I'm sorry. It's a little bit too late as the expiration date, both on the plan and this poor individual, has been expired. Just a bit.
Are you trying to intimidate the individual?
Oh yeah, scaring the hell out of him.
Excellent. Why don't you go ahead and make a persuasion, or I would also go with empathy. I would say you could use presence. I would say you could use might. You will have the +1 enhancement from the cursing.
We're gonna go empathy. Can I do empathy cunning?
Sure.
Cool. Roll. Don't have me kill. With that extra one, before.
Nice. He sort of squeals and kicks his feet, and then the fight kind of drains out of him. And he says, "All right, look. I'll do whatever. You want my percent? You want my cut? I'll let you have my cut. But you know, I got to get out of here. You got to let me go."
He just kind of drags him. Why? When we can have so much fun and I could go ahead and end this asinine task that I'm on. Come on, Bunga. We're going to go meet our friends, have fun. No, Gil. Gil is a dice maker. It's a long story.
Oh, okay.
Long
I thought you said don't F me, Kale. I'm like, I'm not even there.
No, not Kale. Gil.
Me and
Gil is
my
a dice
fries.
maker. And he drags his poor Mercurian, almost like skipping. Like this is like fun for it, and it's just kind of walking on sunshine. And in that montage, you just see him kind of pointing out folks while holding on to this poor Mercurian.
You see, it's not
Saturday
long
Night Fever.
before you run into some guards that are kind of spreading the word that everyone who's distributing the brew needs to surrender themselves. Everyone else needs to head to their homes or the inn that they're staying in. We have to get to the bottom of a plot to damage the city.
There's guards here. And he kind of gets up on all the height he has and leans over top of the guard. I have a present for the prince and some friends. Could you please escort me there?
Sure, right this way. They take you up toward the palace area where a area has been cleared in the city market. Um,
As we're
Basically-
walking, I turn to Savo and be like, "Well, I don't think old Greg is the prince's type. I'm just
Oh no.
Probably.
I would think they would go along swimmingly.
Oh, well, what easiest mission we've ever been on then?
Right. I feel like they would have a very intense relationship.
Oh, see, we were the ones to send out.
Right.
This whole thing's gonna end. Bunga's never gonna know we saved the city. This was all matchmaking. I love it.
Well, probably not quite that, as you are taken to where the prince is currently at. The area of the open market that's nearest to the palace has been cleared out, and a sort of makeshift stage has been set up. Just, a little bit of a riser. The prince is standing on it speaking, talking about some newcomers from a faraway settlement of. Have you told them where is your home?
Oh, us?
Yes,
What was the name of our place?
Gelphims Rest.
Yes, that's it.
Yes, these lovely people from Gelphims Rest have saved us from a terrible plot. You see, my heartbreak was all part of an elaborate scheme. This time you all come walking up.
Oh.
The schemers have stolen from the royal coffers and appear intent on stealing from the city as well. And I would have never known about this insidious monstrosity of a plot if not for the lovely priestess Stropharia. And he reaches out and you're on his arm, so he pats your hand and then does this shit to get people to start applauding you. The folks start to cheer. He says, "My ban on alcohol was misguided and has left us vulnerable. So I have ordered the guards to collect everyone who is distributing this so-called free booze, as it is a trick. If you have consumed it, see your nearest healer. If you know anyone distributing it, tell the nearest guard. But then I urge you all to hasten home or to the inn in which you are staying while the city guard takes care of this problem."
When he's done, I have a little piece of advice for him.
Sure.
If I may, my lord, it would stand to reason that the goods that are already stolen would be stored nearby. If you can capture some of them alive, odds are that they could be returned to you before the calm.
Perhaps. Yes, guards, please gather who you can alive. We will need to. We don't generally have this many prisoners. One of the innkeepers says, "I can modify my rooms to hold prisoners if needed, my lord." Thank you.
It's unsettling how easy that is.
He says, "Good. Then, Stropharia, if you and your assistant would join me in the palace while we wait for the guards to handle the situation." And by this time, Savo and Bunga have like walked up and can clearly see this is all happening.
My lord, more of my companions have joined us.
Oh,
3
please
more.
introduce
She'll
me.
invite Bunga and Stavo to come speak with him.
I think Salvo is just holding out poor old Greg, who's probably terrified by now that like this monstrosity is just whipping him around.
Oh yeah. He's lost control of bowel and bladder. He's
Reeks
begging
of
and,
Bailey's
and
and swamp.
kicking. Yeah, he's just not. He's not having a good time. The princess, thank you. Guard, see to that is interrogated, please. One of the guards grabs him and drags him off.
Until we meet again, old Greg.
Take him to be assessed.
If you all would care to join me inside the palace while the guards do their work.
Oh, he's gonna get short again.
It'd be an honor.
Wonderful. I'll see to it that the chef prepares a lovely meal.
Oh wait, he just thinks wrong voice. Your Majesty. And
Yes.
he holds out the book. Plans for invading the city.
Oh. Captain, he hands the book over. That will come in handy, I'm sure, in your investigation.
You broke up with a Rosalind, correct?
Yes.
It seems now
You're
only
kind
beauty,
of a
but the
bandit
brains.
leader.
I'm starting to get that impression, yes. Thank you for verifying those suspicions.
If I may, to catch a bandit leader, you have to offer a prize that they could never, ever want to turn down.
What are you suggesting? My guards are about to upend every tunnel connected to Oracaster. We've sent everyone into the curfews. What more would you like me to do?
Make a secret one directly towards something you seem to treasure a lot, Your Majesty.
And what is that?
Well, she went directly to you, so that must mean that you have something that she really wants to get her hands on but couldn't. I mean, this is why they have the Markins to come back.
I think she got everything she could from me, but realizes just how much wealth is in my city.
My friend Savo is an experienced hunter and quite correct. If you wish to capture rotflies, you need only lay appetizing enough flesh where you want them. Perhaps there is some secret treasure she did not know about. It need not be a real treasure, my lord. A public address, for example, saying, "Thank goodness that they did not claim the MacGuffin would is thankfully remained untaken and will be safely stored in place." I'm not actually coughing. That's me being uncreative.
He says, I appreciate the thought. I think the tactic will be sound should it be needed. Let us give the guard the night. See if the curfew and the purge can do its job. If we find Rosalind within that span, we'll have no need for further deceptions. And if we do not, then I will take you at your advice. Speaking of treasures, I was told that you came bearing some. Perhaps we can discuss this over dinner.
We shall.
Wonderful. I would humbly request that you be my personal guest, Straferia, if you would.
She just kind of blushes a bit. It'd be an honor, my lord.
Glorious. If any of you have, are there any else among you before the city shuts down that need to be retrieved by the guard?
Anything? Sorry, cut out a bit on my end.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw it too.
sorry about that. Was there anyone among you or another person with you? Anything else that you needed before the city is shut down that you would like brought here?
Well, oh, we don't need our thing we're selling, right? Because I can just stay locked up in the inn.
I guess we could bring, if we brought any samples of work,
Let's do that.
you know, I imagine our friendly blacksmith contact gave us a nice little array of goodies to show off.
Yeah, you had
Right.
like a wagon, like a wheelbarrow full of stuff, basically.
Yeah.
It's Zavo. It's gonna hand one of the guards a key. Use this key. Don't try the other ones. I'm deadly serious.
They
All right.
they take the key and they thank you and had to go get it.
Well, I did meet somebody while I was
All right.
on the hunt, as it were, and I don't suppose I could fetch them to dine with us, perhaps.
Yes. Is this a business contact or is this a personal interest?
Well, personal interest, as it were.
He smiles. Well, there's nothing I love more than love. Guard, escort this fine. What bunga was it?
Oh, 'tis, my lord. Nice to meet you.
It's a lovely and strong name. Guard, please escort bunga to his lady fair and back here as quickly as possible.
You can't miss her. She sings.
Licensed songs we can't replicate.
About an hour or so passes. Those of you who remained at the palace are given your option of a few different clothing outfits you could put on. They're more fancy dress type stuff. You're welcome to take advantage of it. You're welcome to not.
I'll wear the nicest purple dress he has.
Excellent. It's quite nice, covered in gems.
The nicest dress he has?
Purple dress that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's got like wardrobes basically that he's offering for everybody.
Yeah, it's like any rich playboy in a movie has a closet full of dresses for guests. You know, this belonged to my Aunt Rose, fashionable lady Aunt Rose.
Right.
I'm thinking Beauty and the Beast where he has like just the gowns for her already.
She never did ask him, why do you have all these dresses? And are they animate as well?
Right.
I never questioned that either. But yeah.
Imagine like one of them coming back to life at the end, like, ah! Get out of me!
Just wrapped around belt. I beg your pardon.
Exactly.
Oh,
Ma'am. Walks away. He used to be the tailor.
Exactly.
I have to go leave a comment on an OnlyFans suggestion form. All right,
so about an hour passes. You're given the option to dress up. Sir Ferry, you're grabbing a purple dress. Is Kilzul going to put on anything special? Or are you just going to stay in your own clothing?
I mean, I tend to look pretty like tattered mystic in hides usually, so I'm going to follow Stropheria's lead. Clearly, I have been relegated as advisor servant, so I'm just going to go with advisor servant in better robes or something. You know,
Sure.
that's if she's going with purple, I'll go with something with purple. I'm absolutely doing the wise man at your side.
And she'll kind of pull him aside too and she'll be like, you deserve the credit more than me.
I don't.
Just so you know.
I appreciate that. I honestly don't care. It serves purposes well enough that it was yours to take. I'm sure some of that trickles down to us as well.
we'll certainly have a good chance of completing what we came here to do. So.
Well, if this trade deal goes through as we hope and all of this turns out for the best, I imagine we'll be returning here quite often. Do you mind if I ask, do you have any sincere feelings toward the prince?
I think he's handsome. But I'd have to get to know him first, obviously.
Obviously. You tell me what you need, and I'll be there to assist in it.
Thank you.
I think Salvo hasn't said a word, is just looking up at the two of them having this conversation.
You would look good in too, Stavo.
Add more blankets to his like pile of self.
Do you remember those weird junk hegs in the movie The Labyrinth?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I
I'm
think
picturing like a
Come here.
that was good.
Thank you.
perfect.
Can you imagine like a shambling mound, but instead of it being plant matter, it's just like bedding?
Just the junk lady.
Just as a creature, just like, oh, here comes the cozy golem.
Oh, you like your Mr. Bear now, don't you? Yes, you do.
I think Salvo is going to do that thing where like dressing up to the occasion and where they're located, just not to offend. So for the first time, it's like black everything. You actually see the form of someone that might be elf or human or what have you, but it's still like a weird green cloak and like bandages all over, black bandages all over, but it looks like a person.
Okay,
But the bandages are finest velvet.
Are you removing the gold mask and or the LeBron mask and just wearing bandages?
Yeah, the LeBron mask is just going to be hooked somewhere else just to like, I can't scare the maids or the servants, and looks over and like two of them like cowering.
Beautiful.
This is less King of Jerusalem and more Dark Man now. Like,
Right.
okay.
And Bunga, you're able to recover Terra fairly easily. On your way back, you can see like obviously most of the streets have been cleared, but you see like people getting like dragged to the inn that is now being used as a jail. Many of them protesting, but you see probably half a dozen people. Once you've all arrived,
Look at all that there.
yeah, Tara's like, yeah, that seems extreme, but hey, you know, suppose they were planning on robbing the entire city. I guess they got to do something, right?
Bad guys, they is.
So I got a question.
She
Does
says, not
Bunga
like
know?
you.
Does Bunga know Rosalind? Like, is this like Batman? You know, I'm nothing but references, guys. But you know, I knew Rosalind. Bad seed, hurt people. Just how's your mama now?
That's a good question.
It's up to
Depends
you.
where she's. Yeah. Let's say yeah.
Okay,
What do you think? Yeah.
sure. How would you have known her in the past?
Probably worked for her.
Okay, so at some point you're part of her crew, perhaps when she was just doing more like straightforward, like
Straightforward banditing.
right.
Like in the good old days, you know? People approach you from the side of a trail. They know what's going on. You know what's going on.
Stand and deliver.
None of this poisoning people, long con.
Exactly.
Honest banditing.
Are you going to share that information with anybody during this dinner?
If it comes up, he's not like hiding it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like he was like, oh, well, we were almost in on this one. In fact, that's how I got that rat fellow to talk.
Oh, really? Do tell.
I was like, oh well, as he's like cutting a steak or something.
His
I
mushroom
was
burger,
like,
his
oh
rat
well,
burger.
for old time's sake, that sounds like a pretty good plan. You can cut Bunga in on this, right? And then he spilled the beans as easy as can be.
So, in your youth, you ran about with these brigands.
Indeed, I did, and then I ran into this here group, and well, I always just go where the wind takes me.
Well, I
Wasn't really into the whole being mean to nice folks.
Well, I appreciate your friends as well. You've all done me a great service. So tell me, this material that you brought for me. I've not seen anything it's like. I would be very interested in ordering some tools and some weapons. Perhaps some shields made of this as well. So once this business is behind us, you can certainly take word back to Gelphims Rest that I would love to engage a trade relationship. I think that would be quite well for us. Could be the beginning of many wonderful connections between our settlements, and he kind of places a hand on Strafaria's hand.
Stofaria will just kind of smile and be like, I'm very grateful for your hospitality and thank you for inviting us to this wonderful dinner. I'm happy to have helped you and your town out.
You are heroes, and while whatever's going on outside might be a bit of unpleasantness, I figured it was best to spare you of that. I'm in your debt. But please finish your meals. I'll have the servants show you to your respective quarters where you may rest, and then in the morning we will see what we have discovered with the guards of Unearthed. He finishes his meal, and the guards do come and escort each of you to a set of to like a room that's set aside just for you. No shared quarters. It's rather nice. There's probably the softest mattresses you've ever encountered. You're not quite sure what they're made of, but they're amazing. The entire experience is comfortable. Is there anything
Nice.
that you're doing over the course of the evening?
Is Bunga staying with his lady friend or did she go home?
Well, she's not going home, so it's Bunga is welcome to suggest they share a room, or is welcome.
This is a right proper lady. She is. So I will
Say,
escort her to her room.
Oh, okay.
Excellent.
Why, what were you gonna say? You seemed interested.
I was gonna say, like, I was gonna tell her that she doesn't have to go with you.
You'd be like, you can
How
run
dare!
I'd understand if, you know.
if you ran. Run, bitch! Run for your life, Gil. No.
Doesn't owe me anything. She does.
Like sitting in the audience of a horror movie. Bitch, get out of that house.
Little did you know, I already warned her.
So,
And then she'll kind of look at Bunga like, you're nice.
Bunga's a good egg.
You,
Yeah.
in a gentlemanly fashion, escort Tara to her adjacent quarters to yours and get some rest. Is Savo doing anything else during the night?
Salvo is just like love struck, but on the prince's arm, Kalzul.
What? Hey,
And he's just like, and he's just like, I gotta make sure this is completed. So he's kind of been like setting up, like mapping out everything in his head, and just like, I know she's definitely coming back to finish the job. And he's
Hmm.
kind of like planning for when he's just like, I might have to quietly take down someone. So he's kind of on guard and is kind of blending in. He's kind of pulled back and it started to blend in with like the maids and like the other people running around taking care of the place.
Okay, excellent.
Blend in. The
Yeah.
sinister, evil-looking.
Mound
in.
of like you can blend into the
he puts
shadows, but
on-
you're not blending in with the servants.
He takes off his tragedy mask and puts on a comedy mask, and he's like, "Just your friendly neighborhood."
Oh, it's more like you know, when folks are running around and like they're taking care of things, you don't really pay attention to them too much, especially the ones that look
Keep their head down.
a head down undesirables.
Crow,
Sure.
I've been writing Shadowrun for 10 years, and I've written about the Bolivian fire drill in 2 separate source books. It does not work when you have a pink mohawk and a heavy machine gun. I just don't.
He
I just,
doesn't have a pink mohawk and a heavy.
No,
Sounds like a
he's-
character I would play, though.
well,
Yeah.
it Shadowrun. It wouldn't.
Well,
but
I tell you what, let's let the dice decide. Why don't you give us a we could go larceny,
Yeah.
we could go cunning, we could go dex, we could go composure.
it does occur to you, Savo, my friend, that you could simply let the guards know that you're going to provide overwatch or even accompany them with sanction.
I would like to imagine that you think you're talking to Savo, but it's
Turns
his
out-
old jacket up on a coat rack with his mask hanging off the top.
So it's just a
He's
pile of
already
laundry.
left, and he's already wandered off.
I'm totally willing for that to be a thing if Crow's not into it. But like just a pile of laundry with like
Oh, yeah.
a random masquerade ball mask on it, and I'm just like,
Savo, you're giving me the silent treatment.
Probably that's
Don't like
definitely
you.
what's happening because Salvo is just kind of just have taken off, but like that mask is probably sitting there on like one of like a coat rack or something. It is like a pile of rags and other things just piled on.
and here I am by myself talking to myself. That's chaos.
What'd you get
Just
on that?
have this whole conversation that I'm talking to a coat rack.
But for me,
I love it.
3 successes.
Excellent. So yeah, like actually you managed to sort of lurk about pretty easily.
And one final thing, he takes off the initial bandages on the face and head
Mhm.
and just puts on like one of the like a cap on and just is walking around, has kind of blended himself in. He's putting down stuff. He's probably getting yelled at by like old lady cook, and he's just putting stuff away for her as he's moving on.
There's not remarkably there's not a lot that goes on at the palace overnight. None of the guards really come and go once the last bit leave to go out on enforcement. Nobody really comes back and checks in. You don't catch any evidence of anyone trying to break in throughout the night. Where is Strafarius sleeping? What is Strafarius' plan for the evening? Is there anything you're doing before you go to bed?
I'm thinking she's thinking that her work here is done and that she deserves this bed.
Okay.
She's like,
That's fair.
yes, what I was once used to.
Excellent.
I really like the way that's phrased too. I deserve this bed.
And
Mama told me there'd be days like that, and she was right.
is there
Yes, Queen.
and is there anything else in the midst of the night that Kelzul wanted to accomplish apart from a compelling conversation with the coat rack?
Honestly, I'm not going to top that. It's
That's fair.
that's I'll wander a little. I'll rest. Just guest things. I'm on relative alert. I'm not casual, relaxed, but I'm going to take rest as I can while prepared for trouble because we're expecting trouble.
Sure. The next morning, as the sun flies rise, the servants come around to each of your rooms and knock, tell you that the prince has requested you join him at the now makeshift stage that has been set up in the market.
Okay.
When you arrive there, you find that a large portion, probably about a third of the town, is there. There are also a dozen people in chains. Among them, you absolutely do spot Rosalind.
Oh, so they did get him.
The prince.
How hot is Rosalind? Because I'm suspicious.
I'm out.
Prettier than me.
I mean, she's
Nobody's prettier than you, Stropharia, and you know it.
she's pretty. She's got a bit of like uncanny valley-ness to her. Like she looks like almost like her features are a little too perfect. But she's relatively attractive. She's pretty. Pretty girl.
Oh,
Probably not as
Does she
pretty as
look like
Tara.
how I remember her?
Yeah, she looks like you remember her, pretty much. Old,
Okay.
little older.
So not a mask.
No. Not like, oh, it's old man
It was
Smithers.
a puppet all along.
Yeah.
No, but she reeks with sexy bug musk.
Yeah, true.
No, that's Stropharia.
No, that's
Well,
mushroom
that's
musk.
mushroom musk.
That's
Totally-
that's
totally
sexy.
That's
different.
boy.
different. That's different. Yeah.
Once you've arrived, the prince is good. I'm glad that you're here. We've captured, we believe, all the conspirators. We were just discussing the issue of justice. Now, my guards are recommending that we put these people to death for their crime. But I find that a little harsh.
As do I.
I would prefer to see them exiled.
Considering the personal nature of their assault upon you, my lord, it does you credit.
I don't see any benefit in creating death and misery, especially when, thanks to their sloppy planning, I have recovered most of the possessions that I lost. But again, since our communities are working toward perhaps a trade arrangement, and because you've played a valuable and vital role in unearthing this conspiracy, I did want to offer you the opportunity to plead your case, be it for or against these brigands.
Maybe you better call on us in sequence so we can offer our opinions.
Sure. Bungo, what do you think?
How murderous were these these people?
Like back in the day, not terribly.
Okay, so not even they didn't revel in the murder part.
No, they certainly weren't careful about like don't hurt people, but they weren't like it was kind of like if they get hurt, they get hurt. You know, if anything, they were callous.
Well, if you not ain't killing them, what's the word? Integration. How you do that without making them bitter? Maybe. Can't help but notice that the palace had a lot of graffiti on it.
Yes, that is art. That is tribute.
Oops.
Maybe the rest of the town could have some art. Because I don't know about maybe this is rude of me to say, but those eyes carved everywhere are a little bit creepy to outsiders.
So you think we should decorate our eyes
Yeah,
and make these people do it?
yeah.
I'll take that
Aye.
under advisement. What about you, Savo?
Oh. If this was my mentor, they would say, murder them! But I am a pacifist, so I don't believe in making them work until their bones bleed and then marching them out during the calm.
That just seems like murder with more steps.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
What about you, Kelzul? Any thoughts?
Cruelty leaves its mark wherever it happens, intentionally or not. And you hardly want their hungry ghosts haunting this place. They've left enough. To me, it would seem exile immediately. To be denied the beauty of Oracaster and all of its hospitality is punishment enough. Further, if they live unmaimed but exiled, humiliated but alive, they may come to understand that there are better ways to make a living, especially if you were perhaps to send them back where they came with some message for their leaders, a mark of goodwill that there's much greater prosperity to be had in trade, hard work, and cooperation than raiding. Not only is Oracaster above such petty things, but could offer so much more by honest labors.
It's wise. And you, Straferia?
I'm in favor of exile, but perhaps maybe Rosalind should be imprisoned since she is the ringleader. I wouldn't want them to walk up on some unsuspecting people and rob them and continue their horrible brigades.
Like exile would just leave them free to make their new mark on another city.
Yes.
Then
We could let them know that we'll be communicating with other cities about these individuals. Honest labor would be their only labors. They'd be known as brigands far and wide.
we could do that, and I'm not saying this instead of that, but in addition to that, we could exile them voidward. This is the end of the Ferris Road. If they find a safe place to wait out the next calm, perhaps their attitudes will be better when they make their way back skyward.
Or they may come back with vengeance in their hearts.
They may.
Goodwill is a cycle that provides great returns on investment, my lord.
Oh, what if there was a curse that makes them rethink their actions?
Is this-
Kale's eyes go cold at that. To take away somebody's choice is tantamount to slavery. Even if it seems it is a good thing to do, it sets a precedent that leads to even the innocent being given guidance.
Well, not necessarily taking away the choice, but a different type of hex. Not all of them are of the mind. Some of them are of the terrifying variety.
Out of character, are we talking about Ludovincoing them?
Basically giving them like, oh, if we ever do this again, we might get hunted down by some monstrosity. I don't want to f with that.
Oh, I think you could absolutely leave them with the threat of, we'll let you off this time. We see you again. It'll be slow.
Oh yeah, I got something for that.
Well, you could use that one synthesis to basically make them believe that if they steal again, they will be attacked, right?
Right. That's the thing I was going to use.
Hardly a synthesis. That's just truth.
That's fair.
That is fair.
So the prince says, so then just so that I'm understanding our consensus is going to be to send them away, but not into the void, with the warning that that if they do not reform, their next misstep may be rewarded with monstrosities.
I think that's
And the knowledge that we'll be spreading word of them to other holds.
Everyone in agreement then?
Yep.
Good. So let it be done.
I'll try to have a word with the bandits before they're sent on their way, though.
Sure. If any of you would like to approach the bandits as they're being processed and removed, you may do so. What did you have in mind, Killzone?
As many of you will find it more difficult to ply your criminal trade, I would like for you to know there is always work for intrepid explorers. Perhaps the Cartographers Guild could use such a canny band of map makers and survivalists. There is honest work to be had and much greater rewards. And adulation and safety within the havens of cities such as this. Where will you spend your ill-gotten gains, after all, if you alienate all of the underworld?
Make an excellent point. Why don't you go ahead and also make a persuasion roll? Go ahead and pair that with whatever you feel is most appropriate.
All right,
I'll find
let's-
Rosalind
Okay.
before they're sent out. Well. Look at here we are. Me, basically the deputy, and you. Well, it was a rather clever plan, I must admit.
It was, but not every plan works out in our favor.
2 hits here.
Your friend made a good point about some of us perhaps joining up with guilds. And I do understand that word will get out about us. And I
Also, well, no one did die.
No, that's true, but just as word will be spread about us, Bunga, I will ensure that word makes its way out around about you as well.
Word
What a
about
threat.
me?
Traitor.
Word about me?
Yes, your new deputization. I'm sure the rest of the borough will be very pleased to hear of it.
Can I infer, is this a threat or like she's making
It's a
good?
promise.
Or what is this?
I mean, it's. I'm going to ruin your name among your community.
Your old name. You're building a new one, Bunga.
Yeah, he's activating the thing. He's hitting that. He's hitting that weakness, or he's hexing it.
All right.
Rosalind.
Oh, is that how it is? Oh, sorry. Have you met my friend Savo? I'm just gonna.
He's mimicking both Kalzul and Storfaria's way of speaking, and just reaches out. It's funny, so smart, so pretty, and yet always bested by someone smarter and prettier. Delicate, but never a gem. More like glass. Pretty, but fragile. Kind of like your plans. If word does get out about our good friend Bunga in any disparaging way about this party, you will suffer something terrifying, horrific, and deadly. You will never, ever be able to go anywhere, move anywhere without the thought of me standing behind you. When you go to find a new love, it won't be them, it will be me. When you go to have children, it will be me. When you go to have a family, you go grow old and wither in a bed surrounded by loved ones. It will be my face you will see in all of them. You will go nowhere. You will do nothing without my permission. Or you can just spend the rest of your life being so well mannered and so pretty. Or you can suffer for all eternity. It's your choice. But don't you ever in your life again threaten our good Bonga. Do I make myself clear?
Why don't you
Prince Humperdinck got off light.
why don't you go ahead and make a persuasion, or I would say empathy,
Damn.
whichever you choose. You can
Cool.
you can pair that with your attribute of choice.
I think I'm
That's
going
either the
with
best pickup line or the best intimidation I've
three
ever.
tens. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, 3 10s.
Yes.
Okay, so that's six hits. Yep.
Wow.
So you've definitely convinced her and probably earned an arch enemy. Like she's like if she ever gets the gall to come for you, she's coming for you.
I'll be there.
Yeah, but that was so scary. That's kind of like saying you've made an arch enemy of Doctor Doom. Maybe I just don't superhero anymore.
Right.
Well, it did let her know that, like, if you ever even take a lover or kids, that's me in the corner. That I will.
That's
be.
why I'm saying that's a good pickup line.
That's
Yeah, no, it was dope. Yeah, she's definitely terrified, and you definitely have given her the impression that she will be cursed. But if she ever shakes that, she may come back for more. You might say.
I just want to say, if there's bonus XP for like best role played scene, I thought I was doing well. Crow, you left me behind.
It's been
She messed with our sweet boy. That was just out of line.
it's been pretty amazing. On that note, though, I think that is where we will park. You oversee the exile of Rosalind and her people from Oracaster. You have made the first steps towards a trade arrangement with their prince, and you have effectively prevented or ended the prohibition there.
Not a bad day's work.
All wonderful stuff. So, on that bright shiny, let's get to everybody's favorite part of the evening and hand out some experience points, shall we?
We also made goodwill with the nobles who approached us about that releasing the embargo. So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, we made friends in every direction except the bandits, but you know,
That's all right. They
they are the broken eggs of this triumph omelet, and I'm comfortable with that.
They
Yeah.
earned their problem. All right. So everybody gets a point for showing up. Congratulations.
Woo.
Did Stropharia, did you achieve any of your short-term aspirations?
Not really. I didn't get a chance to convert him to Golthon, so. Or if he
Okay.
is.
That's fair. Maybe perhaps next time.
Yeah.
How about for Kelzul? Any short-term aspirations?
Two of them, I think. One of them was bring communities closer together, and the other one was speak on behalf of the freedom of individuals.
Hey, you may take 2 points, and you may
Sweet.
choose 2 new short-term aspirations. Any for Savo?
I wanted to solve the city's problem
I would say that happened.
and also terrify an individual.
That definitely happened. So you can take 2 points for that.
Perfect.
And how about for Bunga?
I've got 3. I've got play a trick on someone stuffy. I don't really think I did that.
No, probably not.
We weren't together long enough.
Make a new friend.
I would say you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think Tara would qualify as?
Yeah.
So that's 1 point.
And that's a point of experience.
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
And then you may want to pick a
And
new...
it was I've had this for a few succeed without falling upwards is what I wrote. Like succeed while failing or not knowing that you're I feel like that's too easy because I do that every session. So
Well,
I'm actually gonna wipe that and try.
I feel like
Yeah,
if you're trying to, yeah.
You can go ahead and take the point and then change it for next session.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
I feel like that's where is it? Character concept? I think that's just the character concept.
I mean, that's fine, but you can take the point now and then just not deal with it. You know what I mean? Like not have it be the point.
Yeah,
Again.
figure something. It's been on there. I still need to play a trick on someone stuffy. He's
That's
not really
true.
a trickster. Are we allowed to erase them? And
Yeah, you can change them. Swap them out if you need to.
do we change them during a calm, or do we do it in between?
You can do them in between Kalm, but you definitely also can do them during Kalm.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then what was your party aspiration?
Return home with profit. So not
quite yet.
not quite yet.
Almost there.
And did anybody have any long-term aspirations that they had?
No.
I had bring healing to the hopeless. Does that?
I don't think anybody was particularly hopeless that you've run into so far. So I would say not quite yet.
Oh, no, the prince was pretty.
Well, yeah,
I didn't know
actually,
if the prince counted.
Actually, yeah. You know what? The prince was in bad shape.
He was listening to My Chemical Romance.
He really was
writing poetry.
You
He
suggested
lived in the
eyeliner for
bathtub.
the citizens, and he went. That's a good idea.
Right? Yeah, that's true. He was
All he had to do
definitely.
was compliment his body, and then he was like, "Oh,
It's
ready
true.
to
Some men are simple.
But yeah, I will give it to you though. He was definitely in despair. So you can go ahead and take 2 points for that.
Sweet.
And then everybody can have one more experience point for reaching a story milestone as set by the story guide. You completed the plot of the Oracaster prohibition. Things ended as well as they possibly could have. You managed to do it without endangering any lives or having any unnecessary bloodshed. I'm proud of you. You should take a bow. And speaking of those bows, let's go ahead and have everybody do our outros. Let's tell us, if you could, and we'll kick it off this time with Cal. Please tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you would like to promote.
Yeah. My name's Cal. I'm playing Bunga. I use he, him, and let me think. We're going to be jumping back into Transylvania Chronicles, Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages game on Wednesday evenings, I think starting next week. And that's on Dork Tales channel. on Twitch as well as YouTube. And I'm going to be storytelling my first like long-term campaign with Dork Tales as well. I'm running Descent into Avernus,
Ooh,
which is a 5th edition D&D module.
that sounds like fun. When's
So
that
add
kicking off?
my, and that's kicking off in, oh geez, also like a week or two. It's July's been very busy, so everything's kind of just nudged forward a little bit. So it might be a little farther than that, but yeah, everything's kicking up once oh god, August.
Yeah, I know it's here already, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I have thrown a link to Dork Tales in the chat. I highly recommend folks go over there and follow them if you've not yet already done so.
Yeah, Dork Tales is fun. Oh, and I podcast about Transformers and 90s cartoons.
Nice.
If you're interested in that, it's called Too Much Energon. And we talk about Beast Wars stuff.
Beautiful.
Remember Beast Wars? Those are the ones that change into animals.
And there's more coming, right?
Oh, that's we thought that was going to be like a 25-ish episode show, and we're around 150. It just keeps coming.
Just keep making more Beast Wars stuff.
Comics, the War for Cybertron on Netflix went on to Planet Gaia with the Beast Formers.
Nice.
That was Kingdom. There's a new that movie. We covered that movie.
Oh, Transformers.
Did it
1
come
or
out?
whatever?
Transformers 1 is coming out. The movie where they're on Earth with
yeah, with the beasts, yeah.
I'm not really a James. I'm not really a Bay-verse Transformers
Sure, that's
person, but that one was okay. That one was okay. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate it, and definitely recommend folks check out your stuff on Dork Tales, and definitely listen to Too Much Energon. Lots of cool stuff. I too am a fan of the Transformers, so I will have to catch up on that podcast myself. And next up, that brings us over to Crow. If you could give us your pertinence, please.
Hi, Crow. I use he, it. I play Salvo, it, he, they. Basically, me in the morning when I have come from work. You can catch me again tomorrow playing Cyber Scion AP tomorrow for this channel, I believe, around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
I will be doing the Tokusatsu mech version of Scion. Basically, I believe it's called the Four Colors, if I'm not mistaken. The shards.
It's Mythic Shards, which is the book that is currently crowdfunding. I just threw the link for it up in the chat.
Correct. So I would be doing that. I would be also be doing Four Colors Scion again later on. So it's going. Apparently they just said, "Hey, we need someone for Scion," and I was just like, "Great." And yeah, you will be finding me on more stuff around Onyx Path and other places, hopefully soon ish. And yeah, that's about it. Also, you can find me on B Slate TV. Coming soon again. We're getting that back active. So I'm technically on retirement, but not retirement. This is the most I've done in a while. So back to you, Bob.
Well, I'm glad that you're unretiring.
Also, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. You make it a wonderful show. And speaking of wonderful shows, Haley, your pertinence, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Haley, also known as Babe_Blade666. I'm kind of a casual gamer now. Or I guess I should say I'm playing Stofaria in this game. It's been fun, I like it. But yeah, I'm a casual gamer, so I don't really have much on the go. So.
Well, we appreciate your presence. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And last but most certainly not least, Kevin, your pertinence, please.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kevin R. Zarnicki, he, him, playing Kale Zool, also he, him. I actually have a lot on the table. We got a bunch of stuff coming for Shadowrun, but more pertinent to Onyx Path. I will be joining the TC Anima game, Masks in the Mirror, which just as we are every other Thursday, this will fill up the same slot on Thursday. I'm super delighted, especially because I wrote the opening fiction for Trinity Continuum Anima. I got a digital copy of it, and I went, "Wait, those are characters I wrote on the cover." That was a really nice moment, and I'm proud of that fiction, and I've never gotten to play it, so this is gonna be fun. I'm told it will have very dark themes. Big surprise for Onyx Path. So yeah, I mean, keep tuning in Thursdays. Apparently, I'm gonna be part of your regular viewing on Thursday nights when there's nothing else to do because Must See TV has been gone a long ass time, and you need to get over it, Joe. Aside from that, yeah, I'm part of a gaming stream now out of Madrid called Digital Darkness. You can find us. That's me, Rodrigo, Zach, and my lovely wife, Lindsay, playing various vampire themed games, generally talking about the gaming industry, game design. I end up giving free lessons in voiceover and game design inevitably because Rodrigo doesn't want to pay me. But and I can't help it. I really do like teaching. So you can find that at Central Standard Time, midnight on Friday nights, going into Saturday.
And what's the channel name?
That's Digital Darkness. I will try to find a link because right now all I've got on me, Rodrigo is
it on Twitch?
It is.
I got it.
It is. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, speaking of teaching, I am still accepting more students for game design, writing, TTRPG, voiceover, all of those. I've recently had a couple of students start booking their first gigs. A few of them are fully integrating into, say, writing for Shadowrun. We got one who's making a bid for writing for one of the billion Cthulhu RPGs out there. I think it's was it Trail of Nyarlathotep or something?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm accepting more students. Hit me up at kevin.r.zarnicki and keep your eyes at gmail.com. And please keep your eyes open for Royal Rogues Academy, the actual business name that my propaganda department has come with. Advertising, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, aside from that, I'm not going to stop bugging Cal about making Prince of the Hill because I got a lot of calls about that. Like, so when's this happening? Because I will bug him. I will Cal, I'm bugging you.
You've mentioned that to people.
The people saw it on the stream. They were like,
dang man, I'll just get on in there and make that stream happen to get it out there on Twitter and people be watching it and be all fun.
Yeah,
the memes write themselves.
The memes they do.
The people want it, and I think we're equipped to give it. And I don't think anybody else has come up with it, so let's do it. There's oil in that ground.
You break the masquerade one more time, and I'm going to kick your ass.
You know, the masquerade's just part of the technocracy. But what? But yes, aside from all of that. I loved our storyteller last time, and we had a great time. But Travis, I'm so happy to see you back.
I'm happy to be back. Thank you very much.
What a game! What a group! What a great time! And thank you for all that time to talk about all that stuff.
For sure. Yay. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And that leaves me. I'm Travis. My pronouns are he, they. When I'm not running games, I'm writing them. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, or no, 10 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. I will be back here for the first episode of our Exalted Essence actual play. We did our session 0 2 weeks ago. So the Wild
Are the
Hunters
physical books out yet?
Off. Well, you got the POD and the PDF are out right now, and then backers are getting their books shipped right now.
I backed that.
Yep. So check your backer kit. You should have a tracking number.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thanks.
Yeah. So the premise is really fun. Everybody's playing Dragon Bloods. They're about to go on a wild hunt. And then
the best Exalted.
And then once that's done, their life is going to get extremely complicated and messy very quickly. I'm looking forward to it. Other than that, I won't be around much at all the following week because I'm going to be at Gen Con. So if you are
Motherfucker.
at Gen Con and you see this face, walk up, say hi, shake hands, hugs, whatever. It's all good. I will be there. I have exactly, I think, one thing that I'm scheduled for. I'm going to be on a panel about comedy and role playing games. But other
That's
than
rad.
that, yeah, that should
That's
be
really
fun.
cool.
I'm pinch hitting for Dawkins. Dawkins got invited to it for They Came From, and he was like, I'm not going to Gen Con. Do you want to talk on this panel?" And I was like, "Sure, I can." I've written for some They Came From, and I've done a funny thing or two in
Heck
my day.
yeah.
So yeah, it should be a fun time. Other than that, though, I have no agenda. So find me and let's just have a game pop off. It'll be great. That's my hope, is that just games will pop off all weekend and I'll have a good time. Till then, take care of yourselves and each other. Wash your hands, get your shots, and we will see you again real soon. Bye, everybody. My cat is standing on my mouse. Hang out. We're gonna raid Dorktails.